Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Baby Dragon Bedtime. This is published by 10 Star Games and is designed by Steve D. and Matt Roberts.
You guys, this is a real-time deck building game of sorts, right? Where you are grabbing as much dragon hordes and gold coins as you can before you have to go to bed because you're a dragon and Mama Dragon's telling you it is bedtime. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of how the game works, and then we're going to hand it over to our gaming expert daughters, who are they have a really clear, concise, laser point idea of how this game operates and really clear thoughts on what of the reviewing of this game.
All right.
You'll see. All right, here is our setup for Baby Dragon Bedtime. Basically, we have a huge, messy pile, which is our dragon horde that we're going to try to take all the best stuff out of, all the victory point cards, and leave the things that are negative victory points behind. This is a real-time game. Everybody has a small starting deck, which includes grabs, peeks, and flips. Grabs is the cards you use to actually pick up cards out of the horde. Peeks literally allows you just to peek at a card, just see what it is. And flips, what they do is they actually just flip a card over, and so everyone can see it, but you don't actually grab it at this point. All right, you're going to shuffle your deck, and then you're just going to go ahead and start it off. You're going to flip over a card and do whatever it says. All right, flip. Let's flip a card over. We've got a peek. Let's peek at this one, see what it is. What's a flap? That's a good one. All right, we've got a grab. Hey, we want to grab that horde. That's 2 victory points. So we'll put that right in our discard pile. We've got another grab. You know what? Let's grab a flap. And then we have a peek. Let's peek at another card. We'll put it right back. What's a -1? We don't want that. Then when our deck is done, we basically just flip the whole thing just right over again. Whoops, not that one. Flip the whole deck over again and start again. You can just shuffle it if you want. But, it's a real-time game. You don't want to spend a lot of time shuffling. You just want to get right to it. So you flip it over and start playing again. When you're going through the deck the second time through or all subsequent times through, all the cards that do not have an action associated with them, you just simply put them right back in your discard pile. You draw them, see that it's a non-action card, and put it in your discard pile, and you just keep on going. It's a real-time game, so don't think about it too much. Just keep on going as fast as possible. There are 9 different cards that you might encounter while you're looking around in here. There's the 3 that we know. There's the grab, the flip, and the peek, so there's more copies of those that you can get. There's also a flap card. The flap says, look through your deck and discard any one card onto the table. That can be a good way to get rid of some negatives. Because we have negative cards like the Dust Bunny, which is -1, and we have Chewing Gum, which is -2 victory points. We do not want those in our deck at the end of the game. Roar is kind of an attack card. Roar says, one opponent discards or returns the top card of their discard pile to the table face up. So basically gets rid of some of their cards. One thing this cannot do is it cannot get rid of people's grabs. Grabs are basically the way that the game progresses. You can't really do anything in the game without a grab card. So roars cannot affect grabs. But then you also have your victory point cards. Gold is 1 point. Hordes are 2 points. Those are kind of the counter opposite to the Dust Bunnies and the Chewing Gums. Once all players are a little bit more familiar with the game, there are 3 additional cards that you can add in. So this one here, Crash. This one says, every player, including you, must discard the top 2 cards of their deck face up. So that can kind of, mess up some plans. We've also got Swoop. This one says, swap your entire deck with another player's deck. The swoop goes as well. So that can be pretty crazy. You can probably intentionally get a whole bunch of negative cards and then swoop and switch with somebody so you can get their positive cards. That would be a horrible and hilarious tactic. All right, you've got Mama. Mama says, discard this card face up. The game ends immediately for all players. So that's, some pretty strong cards there. But again, you don't want to necessarily add those in until all players are comfortable. When the Mama card is in play, obviously, when it's played, the game ends immediately. However, when it's not in play, basically everybody can kind of quit whenever they want. Once they've gotten as many victory points as they feel comfortable with, or they're not really sure what's out there, or they know that most of it's negative because of peaks or whatever else, they can just stop playing. Once all players have decided to stop playing, the game ends. At that point, you're going to count up all your victory points, obviously subtracting off your negative victory points, and whoever has the most victory points wins the game.
Roar! I'm a dragon, and that's what we're talking about today. Let me present my little sister. Hello.
What are you guys talking about today?
Baby Dragon Bedtime. Bedtime. It's a fun game that has 3 really good things together: deck building, push your luck, and real time. I've never seen those things put together and so great, especially in a kid's game. It's so great that I bet a 2-year-old could play it. because it's just so. Also, the pictures, you don't even, a 2-year-old doesn't really even need to read to play this game because, well, the pictures are so great, just so good at memorizing things.
And I like how it can go as fast as you can go.
Also, as I said earlier, I really like the pictures, and if I saw this on a shelf, I would look at it, read the title, and look at the picture, and ask my parents if I could buy it. It's really tempting to get it.
I could buy this, and we're going to Disney World someday.
That's true. We are going to go to Disney World someday, which is totally relevant. Not.
Also, I really like, I just like the game, honest. I had a really fun time doing it. There's dust bunnies, gum, it's not all perfect. There's roars, you can attack other players. I just think it's really awesome.
All right, any final words to say about the game?
Goodbye.
Like I said, it was very easy to understand everything they were saying, what they were talking about, and just track with them completely.
Oh, yeah.
So always great to hear from them. All right, so I love how this game combined those real-time elements with kind of that deck-building element of kind of growing your deck and making it stronger and stronger, but also having the victory points in there as well. I liked how this had kind of a push-your-luck element to it as well. There were some bad cards out there that you needed to grab cards because the cards are typically points, but if you didn't peek at things first or flip them over first, you gambled on it, sometimes you get burned and you get a little bit of that used chewing gum or dust bunnies or whatever the case is. So I thought that this combined some mechanisms that I had never seen combined in that way before in a cool way.
This did a really good job of having those like primary colors as a background. And the reason why that was helpful for us is because sometimes, the cards have words on them of what they represent, but our 4-year-old can't necessarily read all of those yet. But she was able to attribute the picture of a card to what that meant. So she was able to play this game quite competitively with the rest of us because she could quickly memorize. And the reason why she could quickly memorize, I think, is because there weren't too many types of cards. There's just a handful of different types of cards, and she knew what all of them were after just playing it once, and she was able to memorize that.
She didn't say grab,
yes.
And it used a green color for green for grab or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe not she was necessarily doing that alliteration in her head, but she was nailing it. And there's just kind of those 3 special cards that you can add in. We didn't add those in until way later in the playing with the girls, so that way they had a completely solid foundation of what the base colors were for it. So we didn't confuse them with too many titles of cards. All right, you guys, the kids asked us a ton, and it's so fast that you can play a couple rounds back to back, and it doesn't change anything, which I thought was great. We can squeeze one of these games in whenever we want. Especially right before bedtime, makes for a great transition into bedtime, Baby Dragon Bedtime. And to get a little bit, release the wiggles a little bit, but at the same time, have a great little family moment before bedtime. So I really enjoy Baby Dragon Bedtime.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of the graphic design choices, actually, but it didn't really matter because our kids didn't care. So, the people that are interested in this game, and this game is for, could give 2 poops about that, and it just did not matter whatsoever because they still really liked it, and because they were able to do the solid backgrounds. Like I said, our youngest was able to just kind of memorize that, so it didn't really matter what I thought about that because it didn't affect their opinion of the game whatsoever. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan and Bethany 1, and on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.